According to Hopi legend, younger brother, those who traveled from the east, came to America and corrupted elder brother, the native tribes of the Americas. Younger brother brought ignorance, disease, weapons, and political and religious despotism. Yes, younger brother are the settlers from the old world. Younger brother brought ignorance, brought disease, brought weapons. He also brought Jesus. The Hopis were given a myth by the Great Mother, the spirit of the earth, that America would come and go. America is now on its way out, as it has totally annihilated not only the indigenous cultures, but the resources, the sky, the land, human health, and human intellect, along with the spirit of everything above all. Supposedly, America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, is it? No. America is home of the Illuminati. It is one of the major centers of operation along with Great Britain and Italy. Columbus was a member of the reptilian hybrid secret society network in northern Italy and Genoa. At one time, he was also employed by René d'Anjou of the House of Lorraine, one of the primary reptilian bloodlines. Immense financial support for Columbus came from Lorenzo de' Medici, one of the most powerful Venetian families of the Black nobility, and Leonardo da Vinci, a Grand Master of the Prieuré of Sion. Other explorers like Giovanni Caboto took on similar assignments from the wise men of the East. The expression Manly Hall uses to describe leaders of the Venetian reptilian hybrid families, especially when Newfoundland and Nova Scotia were officially discovered. In his book, America's Assignment with Destiny, Manly Hall writes, Manly P. Hall, in his book, America's Assignment with Destiny, the explorers who opened the New World Order operated from a master plan and were agents of rediscovery rather than discovery. Very little is known about the origin, lives, characters, and policies of these intrepid adventurers. Although they lived in a century amply provided with historians and biographers, these saw fit either to remain silent or to invent plausible accounts without substance. That's a quote from Manly P. Hall. Top intellect. Used to be a former Mason, but renounced all that. As the reptilian hybrid families of Europe dominated the world, they held onto their systems of management, central banks, hierarchical political structures, war, religion, Jesus. The United States was not really founded on freedom, but fascism. The first settlement was at Jamestown, Virginia, in the early 17th century, but it was not an independent colony, as it was controlled by the Virginia Company, which was owned by the British Crown. The Freemasons were at the forefront of the change from overt to covert control by the European aristocratic families. Although I do believe many Freemasons like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin actually had visions of a free and democratic republic for those who wished to be free from monarchy and the Black nobility, Francis Bacon's The New Atlantis, published in 1607, is a parable of the way the dominant European families wanted to take over America. And if you read it, you will see how a group of supposedly independent colonies became an empire founded on satanic fascism. Just look at all the architecture and symbolism in Washington, D.C. People like Manly P. Hall and David Icke argue that most of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were tied to the same bloodline and secret societies, and so therefore were agents of the European satanic cult. All right, so have you ever asked yourself why there's so many religions in the world? I mean, the way powerful secret societies and governments fight for control is thinking it will be they who will one day rule the world. Although it appears many clandestine organizations work today to enslave the people, they all fight each other for ultimate power. If you want ultimate power, besides technology and economics, think hybrid bloodlines. The first president of the United States, George Washington, the Grand Master of the Freemasonic Lodge of Alexandria, was from an aristocratic bloodline. One of his ancestors was an English knight of the 12th century during the time of the Templars, and another was a relative of the Duke of Buckingham, who had fought for King Charles I in the English Civil War. The reptilian hybrid presidential dynasty has continued ever since up to families like the Bushes and Clintons. Benjamin Franklin was a Grand Master of other European Masonic lodges, and Thomas Jefferson erected the first central bank of the United States, modeling that of England. But I'm not trying to blame any one particular group of people. The United States never was free from England, as it is a crown colony tied to the European bloodline. And that's really the run of the whole deal. I mean, it's obvious that many settlers coming from Europe to America wished for a greater freedom, as they did not enjoy the oppression offered to them by the kings, queens, and aristocracy of Europe. They hated despotism and wanted the option of open and spiritual and religious practice on their own accord. They wanted to be able to worship Jesus how they wanted to worship Jesus. But see, they all had it wrong, because it's not about worshiping somebody outside of yourself. That is why the world is in the predicament it is in today, and in particular in the United States, because everybody's always giving their power away to somebody else, not taking responsibility for their own soul, their own actions. You know, just pray to Jesus. Just pray to Jesus. Jesus, he'll make everything okay. You know, just pray for forgiveness for your sins, and everything will be absolved. You know, just wave a little magic hand. No, you're responsible for your sins. You have karma that you incur through your actions. All right, and no, just because somebody doesn't have a personal relationship with Jesus doesn't mean that they're going to hell. All right, you're a control freak. You and your Jesus. All right. You ever wonder why there's so many denominations of Christianity? Think about it. How many different denominations? And I'm using that word because that's the word that is used to delineate all of the very separate and manifold denominations, flavors, varieties. Why there's a church on every other corner, but why there's still so much just misery in this world. Because it's not praying to Jesus that's going to save you or save the world. All right, it's all about you taking responsibility for your actions, and it doesn't matter which denomination. Yes, denomination. You ever wonder? It's the same word that's used to denominate money, bills, denominations of bills, because it's all about money and control. That is what your Jesus is all about. Freedom from oppression. No, you have to free yourself from oppression. Take responsibility for your own spirituality, your own evolution. All right. Yeah. Namaste. Namaskaram.